Really starting to bother me is that I don't understand the career path of Erislandy Lara. Now, Erislandy Lara is our WBA world champion at 154 pounds. Floyd Mayweather is still the recognized champion for the WBA at 154 pounds with the Super World title. We will never see Erislandy Lara versus Floyd Mayweather, so there's no point in talking about that. But when you look at Erislandy Lara's last 3 fights, you ask yourself, what the fuck is he doing with his career? Ishe Smith, Delvin Rodriguez, and then 39-year-old Jan Zaveck. T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. Erislandy Lara, November the 25th, 2015, defeated Jan Zaveck, 3rd round stoppage. Something happened with some nerves or something in Jan Zaveck's arm. He turned away, you know, and the referee just said, okay, pretty much that was it. But he had no business being in there. What does it do for your career? For crying out loud, Jan Zaveck fought Andre Berto. For crying out loud, Jan Zaveck is somewhat of a smaller fighter. Erislandy Lara has to do what he did with Canelo and start calling people. He's got to start going to some more press conferences. Because if it wasn't, it's known in the boxing community that if it wasn't for Erislandy Lara confronting Canelo after the Canelo versus Angulo fight at the post-fight press conference, he wouldn't have got that fight. If Oscar De La Hoya was not in rehab at the time, he wouldn't have got that fight against Canelo Alvarez. It was Richard Schaefer, because Canelo Alvarez said to Richard Schaefer at the time, said, listen, I want Erislandy Lara. People saying I'm scared of him and that he can beat me. I want Erislandy Lara. But when it comes to Erislandy Lara now, you got that fight. But ever since then, you've done nothing to stay in the mind. That was a pay-per-view fight. He's done nothing to stay in the memories of new fans or fans in general. And I'm thinking, what does that fight do for him against Jan Zaveck? And then I'm watching Teddy Atlas. If this was regular ESPN Friday night fights, Teddy Atlas would have been ripping Erislandy Lara alive, saying, Erislandy Lara in this level should not be fighting 39-year-old fighters like Jan Zaveck. He shouldn't. What's the point? Like, what does that do for his career? One good thing, though, is that Peter Quillin, he's training down there in Florida, but Peter Quillin was at the fight. I would like to see Erislandy Lara versus a Peter Quillin, or Erislandy Lara versus a Danny Jacobs, or Erislandy Lara versus anybody in the 160-pound division. He can't go talking shit about GGG, Canelo, and Cotto, because at the level of competition he's fighting, he's not fighting anyone that can say that fans can be like, oh yeah, Erislandy Lara beat such and such. The last 3 fighters he's fought, he was overmatched, super overmatched again. We knew he was going to beat Ishe Smith. Ishe Smith had no chance. We knew he was going to beat Delvin Rodriguez. Delvin Rodriguez had no chance. And we knew he was going to beat this 39-year-old fucking Jan Zaveck. No disrespect to Jan Zaveck, but it's like Erislandy Lara, in a lot of fans' eyes, including my own, can defeat a lot of fighters in a rematch. He could probably defeat a Canelo. You know, he could probably defeat a Miguel Cotto. He could probably defeat a Golovkin, probably. But what I'm noticing is he's not fighting anybody to state his claim. Nobody. So I'm thinking, as he said, and as his team has said, that they may explore fights at 160 pounds. Now, Erislandy Lara is a guy who's never weighed in. I think his first fight he weighed in like 158 or something like that. That's according to BoxRec. And then he's never weighed in any more than like 155.5 or something like that. But I'm thinking that if he really wants to, at 32 years old now, become a boxing superstar and accomplish the American dream, I mean, after all, he is already paid. From my understanding, he made about $700,000 for that fight against Jan Zaveck. But it's like, what does he want to be? Does he want to be an undisputed champion? Does he want to be a well-known champion? Does he want to be a well-known fighter? And from what I'm seeing, it just looks like he just want to collect checks. This is 3 fights now. 3 fights. Don't let me talk about who Canelo has fought. Canelo has fought ever since Erislandy Lara. He fought James Kirkland, Miguel Cotto. Am I missing somebody? But the point I'm trying to make is Erislandy Lara's fights don't do any good for his career. I understand when it comes to 154, there's a lot of fighters that don't want to fight him. But at the same time, this guy is your advisor. Al Heyman is your advisor. You're advised all by the same people. Who is really ducking him? I would love to see Erislandy Lara versus Demetrius Andrade. That's a fight that can be made. But will it happen? We don't know. I don't know what, I don't know where Erislandy Lara goes from here, because I can understand that when it comes to the promotional situation, there are fighters that can't fight him. But when it comes to fighters that he can fight, it's like, you called out Canelo, so if you want these big fights, don't just do it on Instagram or social media, because we don't know if that's you posting that shit anyway. You go to a post-fight press conference, or you show up at a fight, or you tell Al Hammond, yo, I want this guy, let's make this fight happen. Erislandy Lara at this point in time in his career is supposed to be a superstar. It doesn't help also that when it comes to his biggest fights, which is the reason why he's got 2 losses and 2 draws, that he doesn't really do what he's supposed to do. Anyway, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.